Hello and welcome to another video with Tai, the Test Queen. Today I'm making a video with the most useful vocabulary words you can find in a TOEFL, IELTS or other proficiency test. Words that are very common in the questions, words that you can use in your answers, or words that are often used, and if you don't understand them, you're going to have a really hard time understanding the question. So make sure you understand these words. Get your notebooks, get your pencils, get your iPencils and iPads and everything you want. Take notes, write these words down, take screenshots if you want, but remember these words. These words are crucial. The first word we have today is analyze. We analyze something so that we can explain it further. You look at information, you analyze the information, and then you explain it further. So it means to look very carefully into something so that you can understand and explain it. Argument. You will see support the argument. Do you support this argument? An argument is a set of ideas to oppose a position. So if someone says something, there will be a counter argument that says the opposite or that gives reasons why something is wrong or right. Hypothesis. Hypothesis is when you have done research and you are trying to get a conclusion, but you don't have enough research or enough information to back up your statement. So obviously you will make a hypothesis. Scientists, doctors, lecturers, professors will make a hypothesis if they're not certain, but they think that this is true. You will see this a lot in the reading section, in the writing section, and sometimes in the listening section. I've seen this word hypothesis both in TOEFL and IELTS, so make sure you learn this word. Hypothesis is to say something but you're not 100% sure because you need further investigation. Empirical evidence, empirical research is the opposite. It means through experimentation and through observation, you have seen that this is true, that this is not true, that this is possible. So it's not based on a theory, it is based on facts that you have observed or studied. Empirical evidence. This word can also be common in both tests. Methodology. So method means the way we do something. So methodology means a systematic approach to do something. The methodology of something will be the systematic steps, approach, how something is done. Methodology. Correlation. Correlation is a statistical relationship, a relationship with statistics between two or more variables. Variables are things that differ. So if there's a correlation between the two, it's how do these two connect? What is the connection between the two? What is the relationship between these two or three variables? How do they connect? Correlation. Phenomenon. Phenomenon is something that you observe and something that you can study to further understand it more. That is a very strange phenomenon. The northern lights in the northern hemisphere is a peculiar, strange phenomenon that hasn't been fully explained yet. Or unexplained phenomenon, that means it can't be explained, right? So unexplained phenomenon can't be explained. It's a phenomenon, something you observe. Paradigm. A paradigm is a framework or set of assumptions that underlines a particular way of thinking or understanding. Notice that the G is silent. We don't say paradigm. It's a paradigm. Synthesis. Synthesis is when you combine ideas and information to create a complete and more complex whole. You create a whole. W-H-O-L-E. Abstract. You will see abstract in college papers, in these tests sometimes. An abstract is a summary of the main points of a research paper or an article. So you've done this before if you're studying at university. If you're not at university yet, you might do these in high school, but you will definitely see them in your life. You'll see abstract, a summary of the main points. That's described in the article, that's described in the research, and that you need to know. It can also happen in tests, so make sure to understand abstract. The next two words, they go together. They're quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative talks about the quantity. For example, if there's a study, a research paper about something, and they study a lot of numbers, it focuses on the quantity of how many things that has been studied. It is quantitative. If the numbers or the amount of research that has been done is not that important, it's more important how well it's done, we will talk about qualitative. Qualitative focuses more on the quality. Quantitative focuses more on the numbers. So remember these two and remember the difference. Inference. If If you're a TOEFL test taker, you will definitely know this word inference for inference questions. So inference is when you make an assumption based on what you've heard, based on what you've read. An inference is a conclusion based on evidence or reasoning or thinking about a particular subject. Inferences can be based on words, can be based on tone of voice, tone of speech. For example, if I say, I'm not angry, just let it go, then you can make an inference based on my tone of voice, based on my body language, that I'm angry. So the evidence is there, my body language, my tone of voice is the evidence. So you make an assumption that I am angry. That is an inference. The next one is generalize. So if you think of the word general, we will often use something, we will say in general. That means in the big picture, make it bigger. In general, that is not a very good idea to do that. That means usually, normally. So if you generalize something, you make it broader, you make it bigger, you expand the situation or examples. Generalize something, that is a mouthful. Generalizing something is to make it broader, bigger, use more examples. And then the last word we're doing today is critique. Critique is when someone gives you feedback on something that you have done. You can get positive critique or negative critique. Positive critique will be, I think it's good that you have done this. Maybe if you want to improve, you can do it in such a way to make yourself better. Negative critique is like, stop what you're doing. You look like an alien. Go back to your planet. That is negative critique. Positive critique builds you up. Negative critique breaks you down. Remember the difference between the two? It's usually meant to identify weaknesses, using strengths to fix the weaknesses and to make them stronger, to turn your weaknesses into strengths. So when you give someone positive critique, it turns their weaknesses into strengths. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. That is all I wanted to say today. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you found these words and this video useful, and I hope you can use them. Practice using these words in your speech, but also make sure you understand what they mean, because you might get them in reading or listening as well. Don't get caught off guard when one of these words pop up in a test, and then you'll be like, uh-oh, I should have listened to Tai the Test Queen. While talking about Tai the Test Queen, please like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Little heart, little friends. Mwah.